Teofimo Lopez is known for saying outlandish things, but I've noticed over the last couple years, he's making less and less sense when he speaks. Like, the types of things that he's saying at the press conference are just unnecessary. The things that he's saying and the way he's saying it, I don't know if it's nervous energy. I don't know if he's just trying to get a rise out of these cameras and people online so they can talk about him. I really don't know what it is, but I don't understand why guys do things like that. What does that have to do with the fight? What does that have to do with boxing? Only thing you might accomplish out of that is making Shakur Stevenson mad, and he try to make you pay for that come fight night on January 31st.
I plan on doing everything that it takes to win.
And I do applaud the fact that you did, like Andre just said, you did show people that you are versatile. You can do whatever is necessary to win a fight. This is the best, in my opinion. These are the best type of fighters to see. And Teofimo has shown sometimes that he can also be versatile and he can do whatever is necessary. Just sometimes he seems to have mental issues that go on in and out of his life. And if he comes in with those issues, I know it'll be an easy fight for you. But if he comes in focused, he can make it tough because he too knows how to make adjustments when it's time to make adjustments. So that's why I think it's a great fight for both you guys.
I think that you just got to have patience, and sometimes things don't open up in the first 3 rounds or the first 4 rounds. But them things that may open up in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th round. So I think majority of the game is come down to just having patience and being mentally strong enough to withstand the patience game, because good boxers is going to be both patient, and the one that's the most patient is the ones who's going to be the most successful when you're having a chess match.
Get out of range again, land his shots, and Shakur will make Teo pay, because Teo is not disciplined other than his reflexes and trying to move out of the way. And every occasion he might, parry a shot or deflect a shot, but his hands are always down by his waist or his stomach, out of position. That can do 2 things, right? That can open up opportunities for Shakur over the top, especially with the jab. I think the jab is going to be extremely important in this fight. I think Shakur has a better jab as well.
Shakur Stevenson is about to show the world exactly why Teofimo Lopez won't see it coming. Let's break down the expert take from legends Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr. Starting off, Andre Ward has unleashed a reality check on Teofimo Lopez, calling out his chaotic antics at the press conference. Ward believes Shakur Stevenson is coming to make Lopez pay for every word he's thrown around. That trash talk, however, is about to meet Shakur's mastery. Ward sees Stevenson as a fighter with a blank canvas, capable of painting in every style and adapting to any situation. Lopez, in contrast, comes across as confused, unsure of what to do beyond flashy trash talk and acting cool. Andre warns that Shakur is ready to make him pay for that overconfidence.
I respect them both because Teo knows it's going to be a real fight. Shakur knows it's going to be a real fight. And I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience and the athleticism and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line. Now, every now and again, he'll go away from the outline that he has and he'll do something dope and you'll be like, oh, that was cool. That wasn't on the outline right there. But I don't think that he can create on the fly like a Shakur Stevenson.
Since the fight was announced, many fans were clamoring for a Lomachenko versus Teofimo matchup, eager to see Lopez prove his worth. But Andre Ward isn't buying into that narrative. He asserts that Lomachenko's style simply isn't on Shakur Stevenson's level. Ward points out that Stevenson has never shown significant flaws, while Lopez has noticeable issues in his footwork, flaws that Ward believes Shakur will exploit on fight night.
And what Shakur does have to deal with is explosive power, quick twitch, muscles, and the type of punches that he likes to throw. And Teo doesn't have the foot game that Shakur has, but he's got a decent foot game. So Shakur has a lot to deal with as well. But I just think that when it comes to creating on the fly, making adjustments on the fly, Teofimo Lopez looks like the better boxer when he's facing an inferior fighter, an inferior boxer. When you say, well, he fought Lomachenko. Lomachenko's not, Loma mastered fighting in a small space. He's to the side of you. He's behind you. He's not a guy that's going to use the perimeter of the ring. He didn't come up fighting the way we fight here in the States. He's got his style. He's a mix. He's the Matrix. He's a mix of several different styles.
Meanwhile, Roy Jones Jr. finds it almost hilarious that Teofimo Lopez is trying to outline a plan against a master like Shakur Stevenson. He believes Lopez has already done all he needed to do by trash-talking at the press conference. In doing so, Jones thinks Lopez has unknowingly ignited a fire inside Shakur, practically inviting him to dominate. After all, Lopez knows that, skill-wise, he isn't the superior boxer. Shakur holds the clear edge.
I think that Tio just painted outline by being as disrespectful as he can at the press conference because he wants to try to piss this kid off so the kid come fight with him. You understand me? Because with me, he have exactly what he wanted. Because as soon as I go in there, I'm coming straight to his head. You understand where I come from? So, but I think that's what he's trying to get. Yeah, you feel me? But I think that's what he's trying to get Shakur to do. Because why would you say that to a person? What does that have to do with boxing? You feel me? He knows that Shakur has great feet, and he's not gonna be able to catch Shakur if he lets Shakur take his time to do what he does. So he got to try to make Shakur come in and try to kill him, which is what he just did at the press conference.
Meanwhile, Tim Bradley also highlights that Teofimo Lopez's footwork and movement are weaker than Shakur Stevenson's. Breaking down a potential game plan for Lopez, Bradley suggests that to have any chance, Teofimo will need to fight in the pocket against Shakur. At the same time, his defense must be at its peak, or Shakur will close the distance and strike with unpredictable precision. Drawing from both fighters' past bouts, Bradley points out that while each has strengths and weaknesses, Stevenson's skill and adaptability give him a clear edge.
Shakur remember moments of the sparring where he's like saying to himself, I can get him here, I can get him there. And that's why Shakur's saying like, dude, I know how to beat you. I know how to beat you. You know? But back to Tio. For Tio to have his success against Shakur, and what I noticed when Zepeda had success against Shakur was he has to take him he has to get to him in the pocket. He has to make Shakur sit in the pocket with him. Tio is a counterpuncher naturally by heart. Like, he's not like an aggressive fighter. You know, he likes guys to come to him. You know, give you an example. You know, you had a guy, a Barboza, who was going to him, and what did you see? You know, you saw him stepping off on angles, coming up with uppercuts, and he got in the zone. You know, he got in a great rhythm. You know, Gordo showed up.
Drawing similarities between Shakur Stevenson's style and that of Dimitri Bivol, Tim Bradley believes Shakur is an absolute master of the pull and push game. He highlights Stevenson's patience and his ability to move in and out constantly, almost like playing a high IQ chess match in the ring. Bradley thinks Shakur will make Teofimo pay for overextending because Lopez lacks discipline. That lack of discipline, the subtle pauses before striking, combined with movement issues, is exactly what Stevenson will look to exploit throughout the fight.
Extremely relaxed inside the ring as well, but always on springs, like almost like a cat, you know, who's frightened and he's ready to strike, you know, but still relaxed at the same time. But it's that push and pull with Shakur, man, that he's the best at. He is absolutely the best at the push and pull game. Bivol is similar in a fashion, a little bit different, but you know, that's Shakur's game, man. You know, you step 1 foot forward, he step 1 foot back. He understands his range to where he can get out of range, land his shots, get out of range again, land his shots. And Shakur will make Tio pay because Tio is not disciplined.
This is exactly what Shakur Stevenson plans to do. He's not just looking to stand in front of Teofimo, he's ready to do both, control the distance and dictate the pace. Speaking with Roy Jones Jr., Stevenson is reminded that all it takes is reading Teofimo's mind game, because Lopez has shown mental lapses in the past that could make adjusting to Shakur's style a tough challenge. At the same time, Jones believes that if Teofimo's mind is sharp, he could make timely adjustments as well, turning this fight into a true high-level chess match in the ring.
I'm looking forward to a great night. I hope his mind is right, because if his mind is right, then y'all gonna play a good game of chess. And to see who prevails is gonna be awesome because, like I say, you have a great foot game. He's very innovative with what he does from the mental side of it. So I love what I see. I love these type of fights because it's a you pick 'em type of fight. This is what people want to see. They want to see will the cream rise, and you feel like you are the cream, so you trying to challenge all of them because you want to rise. I love that. Keep that mentality. Keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that, Roy. And like I said, come fight night, we coming in there.
Discussing Teofimo Lopez's weaknesses, Andre Ward highlights the mental scenarios where Lopez tends to drift, which Shakur Stevenson can exploit. Ward points out that while Teofimo is trying hard to earn his credit by beating top fighters like Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, his lack of respect and overconfidence has created chaos in his mind. Stevenson sees this mental drift as a clear weakness, one he can take advantage of inside the ring.
He's a guy who went out there and he done the things that everybody asked him to do. He beat the Lomachenko, he beat the Josh Taylor, and he ain't really get the credit for it. So when you don't get the credit for it, it feel like your mental kind of go down with some guys. And I think with him, he kind of didn't go about it the right way. He ain't go about it in a way to where it's like, keep waiting your moment, keep pushing, your time is gonna come. He felt like his time came and nobody respected it. So I did see the drift in his mental, but I think that's a weakness in his game, to be honest.
Tim Bradley also highlights several flaws in Teofimo Lopez's game and style. He calls Lopez undisciplined and points out that his jab isn't nearly as effective as Shakur Stevenson's. Despite being explosive and eager to strike quickly, Bradley sees Lopez getting blocked multiple times by Stevenson's superior jab. He asserts that for Teofimo to have any chance in the showdown, he will need to be far more prepared and disciplined than Shakur.
I mean, it's simple. To me, it's simple. To a guy like Shakur, I think it's going to be simple as well. Watch the big looping left. Watch the big looping right. If you can get away from the first step, of Teofimo Lopez, and cut on an angle, he's going to be going exploding straight forward. There's times where Teo leaves his feet. I mean, there's a lot of flaws in Teo's game that I think a guy like Shakur, who's more disciplined, is going to be able to exploit. That's just what it is.
While boxing legends have broken down why Shakur Stevenson has the edge in this fight, another insider analysis offers a fresh perspective. Hard-hitting, undefeated featherweight prospect Keith Colin goes in-depth on sparring with fellow New Jersey native Shakur Stevenson and shares his thoughts on how the January 31st showdown with super lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez might play out. He emphasizes that in sparring, he noticed Shakur's incredible ability to read his opponent's mind even before they throw a punch.
I remember when I sparred Shakur, the thing I remember the most was I always noticed just sparring him and then watching him. I always noticed him like, dang, when he, if you really pay attention to when he spar, when he fight, he already know what you want to throw before you throw it. Not because he's some type of, boxing guru or anything like that, but because he reading your body language. If you dip to this side, I'm already blocking for a possible hook or uppercut. I don't need to worry about a jab or right hand because the probability of you throwing that is not even, But so just watching him and sparring him, being in the ring with him, it's like, dang, just him understanding what a person could throw based on their body positioning.
At the same time, giving his thoughts on how the fight might play out, Colin asserts that this matchup will be very different from Shakur's fight with William Zepeda. While many believe Zepeda, being a pressure fighter, gave Shakur an advantage against a less aggressive opponent like Teofimo, Colin disagrees. He highlights Lopez's athleticism and ability to rise to the level of top-tier fighters, showing that Teofimo is arguably more capable than Zepeda. Despite this, Keith still predicts a victory for Shakur Stevenson.
I actually feel like that's going to be a great fight. I feel like this fight, Shakur and Teo, is going to be better than Shakur and Zepeda, just because of the fact of Teo, he's more athletic, and he could surprise you. He could be down in the whole fight, and he's still going to be a live dog. Zepeda, you can kind of catch his rhythm, and you can kind of cruise through the whole fight, pick him apart. With Teo, you got to be sharp the whole 12 rounds. And like how Shakur said in his other interviews, you gotta be ready for the best Teo, because the best Teo is a dangerous Teo, as we saw against Loma, and the other times that he came prepared. But I feel like Shakur gonna win.
Just like Tim Bradley and Andre Ward, Colin also spots mistakes in Teofimo Lopez's fighting style. He points out that Lopez has flaws in making adjustments during fights, referencing his performance against Sandor Martin, where Teofimo struggled to land clean shots to the body. That's why Colin believes that against a fighter like Shakur Stevenson, Lopez will need to not only adapt to Stevenson's style, but also be at his absolute best, both mentally and technically, to have any chance of success.
Yeah, for sure. The most notable thing that come to mind is I remember when he fought Sandor Martin. Like every time he threw a right hand to the body, he never had his lead hand up. Sandor Martin was just check hooking him to death. I'm just like when he's just gonna make the adjustment, you know, when he gonna realize that he just keep getting hit with the right hook every time he tried to throw the right hand. So those are the small adjustments that he had to make because, you know, sharp fighter, they gonna capitalize. So he gotta be on his game.
Meanwhile, boxing commentator Max Kellerman shared his insights on the Stevenson versus Lopez matchup. Joining him, Malik Scott, who has sparred with champions like Alexander Usyk and Lennox Lewis, described the fight as a defining moment for the sport. He praised Stevenson's blend of smart ring IQ and durability, while highlighting Lopez's explosive power as a wild card that could shift the fight. Their analysis showcased the unique strengths both fighters bring to the ring, building excitement and underlining why this clash has become one of the most anticipated bouts in recent memory.
It's the type of matchups we always are acting for. When it comes to explosiveness, I would have to go with Tio. When it comes to actual rapid speed, I would have to go with Tio. But when it comes to body punching, when it comes to good timing, when it comes to craft, I would have to give all of that to Shakur Stevenson.
What do you think, Doug?
They're both boxers. I look at Stevenson as a versatile technician. I look at Teofimo. He's a boxer puncher, but his specialty is his counter punching. Listen, if Stevenson wants to be on his stick and move game, very difficult style matchup for Teofimo, and maybe not that entertaining to the fans.
Because Stevenson's longer.
Exactly.
Stevenson's defense probably the best in the game, and he's longer.
Great reflexes and timing, and so does Teo. That's why he's a great counterpuncher.
Max Kellerman highlighted the unique skill set Teofimo Lopez brings to the ring. Known for seeking out tough opponents that many avoid, Lopez blends speed, power, and technical ability in a way few fighters can match. Aggressive and fearless, he carries knockout danger in both hands, capable of turning a fight with a single shot. At the same time, Kellerman commended Shakur Stevenson for stepping up to face such a formidable opponent instead of opting for an easier, low-risk fight.
Teofimo is a two-division Ring Magazine champion. In both fights where he won the Ring Magazine championship, he was the underdog. 4-1 underdog against Lomachenko. People forget, Lomachenko was taking elite fighters in the lower divisions and they were quitting.
Yes.
He was beating them into some, they were like, I can't do this, right? And Teofimo beat him, right? He outboxed him.
Yeah, he didn't do it by physically imposing himself on him.
He outboxed him, he outfought him, he had speed, power, and then again against Josh Taylor at junior welterweight, he was the underdog, so he saves his best for his biggest moments.
Yes, and Max, and look, I give Shakur a lot of credit, right? Because we see fighters like Bruce Ennis that want to do a tune-up fight at their first fight at the new weight.
Amid the discussion, Keyshawn Davis issued a blunt warning for Teofimo Lopez. He believes Lopez is heading straight for a tough defeat at the hands of Shakur Stevenson. Davis predicts that Stevenson's technical skill and ring control will dominate the fight, resulting in a one-sided display where Lopez is outclassed and outpointed. While Davis has expressed interest in a future matchup with Lopez, he doubts it will happen anytime soon, expecting Lopez's run at 140 pounds to hit a major roadblock against Stevenson.
What Shakur do with him?
Hey, losing to Shakur, though, that can't be a death sentence, right? We can still see Teo back.
It depends how bad he loses.
That's about to say. So you think it's going to be bad?
Let's say he loses a competitive fight. I think that would be the most common answer is Shakur outpoints him in a very competitive fight.
Keyshawn Davis also weighed in on how he sees the fight playing out, with Max Kellerman calling it one of the fairest assessments. Davis expects a cautious start, with Shakur Stevenson claiming the opening rounds through precise, technical boxing. As the fight develops, Lopez will feel the challenge of facing a calculated elite-level technician. When Teofimo begins to assert himself, the pace will intensify, leading to a dynamic back-and-forth battle that highlights both fighters' skill, strategy, and ring intelligence.
At the end of the era, it may have been Teo and Shakur, especially if you would never fight Shakur, right? How do you see this fight playing out?
I see it playing out, let's say, I see it starting off slow.
Okay.
And then I see as Shakur wins the first round, as Shakur wins the second round, slowly, I think Teo is going to eventually start picking it up and start imposing his will.
Right.
And then, you know, it's just gonna go from there. That's how I think it's gonna go.
That's a fair assessment.
That's a fair one.
Especially for that to be his brother.
I think it's gonna be
Keeping it
close.
real.
I think it's closer than people think.
Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas also weighed in, offering a perspective that stands apart from many others. While the fight is often hyped as a stylistic dream matchup, Atlas focused on the unknown. He admitted he isn't fully convinced it will turn into a wild, action-packed brawl, but stressed that it will showcase two elite fighters in a sweet science battle, one defined by strategy, technique, and flawless execution.
It's gonna be a great fight? I don't know if it will. I mean, style-wise, I could see you having a little reservations, you know, whether or not these guys will make for dynamite, they will make, you know, for electricity. I don't know if they will, but I tell you what they will make for. Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, you know, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science.
Teddy Atlas also broke down the fighter's strengths, pointing to Shakur Stevenson's recent bout with William Zepeda as a clear demonstration of his elite skill and style. He highlighted how Stevenson combined calculated aggressiveness with his exceptional boxing IQ, hinting that he might use a similar approach against Teofimo Lopez. On the other hand, Atlas emphasized Lopez's raw explosiveness, making the matchup a true clash of contrasting styles. He believes both fighters bring unique strengths to the ring, creating a contest that could swing in either direction at any moment.
It's a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur. Well, they saw it. Teofimo showed you that he can fight inside, he can fight outside. He would have the advantage of power in this fight. You know one thing that I love about this fight, Bud? Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia also shared his insights, revealing some intriguing details about the fight. He noted that Shakur Stevenson has been training with Virgil Ortiz, learning techniques and strategies he could bring into his showdown with Teofimo Lopez. Despite Garcia's close ties to Teofimo and his father, he admits that picking a winner is no easy task. Both fighters have distinct advantages, and with their contrasting styles and high-level ring IQ, the matchup is shaping up to be a true chess match inside the squared circle.
Me personally, you know, I've known both of them. I could say I know Teofimo and his dad Junior a little more, so I would probably be cheering for him. But Shakur's been great to us too, man. Shakur, every time we see each other, he's great. You know, in Saudi when we were over there with Virgil, he never had a problem with us training at the same time with him. You know, he's a great dude, man, great person. So it's gonna be a hard pick because between both of them, it's hard to pick a winner, honestly. Leaving the relationships aside, it's hard. It's difficult. It's difficult because they're both very talented. They both have their own advantages to pull off the win.
As fight night draws closer, one thing is clear. This fight is more than just a clash. It's a war of skill, strategy, and sheer will. Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez will keep fans on the edge of their seats from the first bell to the last. Who do you think will come out on top? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single breakdown of every jab, every knockout, and every highlight from this epic showdown.